Welcome to Tilt Talks. My name is Adam Roberts, and I'm the producing artistic director of Tilt Performance Group, a theater company I co-founded in 2013 with a mission to shatter disability stereotypes through inclusive theater. Throughout the upcoming seasons of this podcast, I'll be chatting with company members, staff, volunteers, and community partners about their stories and what Tilt means to them. This is Tilt Talks, shattering disability stereotypes one episode at a time. Well, it is 2022. We're already into February, and this is our first Tilt Talks of the year. I am so excited to be here with Jarrett Suhr, who is one of our longest time company members at Tilt. Well, Jarrett, talk to me a little bit about Tilt. When did you join Tilt?
I joined Tilt right after their first production for 45 Degrees. So that would have been mid-16 fall, I think, or fall 15, 16, one of those. And I was in Free to Be You and Me, which was our second show, I believe.
Free to Be You and Me was Tilt's second show. That's exactly right. That was, I believe, in the fall of 2000. Well, maybe it was in 2015. You may be right, Jarrett, because we had our first production.
15 or 16.
Okay, that would have been 2015 then, because our first production was in 2014. Well, Jarrett, what led you to join Tilt? How did you know about Tilt?
My mom, I think, knew Peter's mom from maybe autism meetup convention meetings or something like that she had gone to, and that's how we found out about it, and we wanted me to get out of the house more.
That's awesome. So your mom knew Gail, who was the co-founder of Tilt, and Gail's son, Peter, was a Tilt company member as well. So that's how you found out about Tilt and came to audition, right?
Yes.
That's fantastic. Well, what have been some of your favorite Tilt experiences throughout your time with us?
Meeting the original Free Fronders, meeting the original cast, learning what I was capable of doing.
That's so awesome, Jarrett. I think that you are capable of so much. Have you learned some of that through Tilt?
Yes, a lot of it.
That's so fantastic. And what have been some of your most challenging, well, even just one most challenging role in a Tilt show?
My most challenging role probably be Flipside Reflex when I was playing that elephant, because there was not a clear, concise concept about what I was supposed to be exactly. It was kind of up to interpretation. So I guess that, and then after that, maybe a character in Pandora that we put in last minute that didn't speak. That was one of the Titans. It was maybe the next hardest thing maybe after that.
Fantastic. And there's not many people that can say, you may be the only person in the world, in fact, Jarrett, who can say that you have played both an elephant and a Titan. Is that right?
And a reporter.
And a reporter.
Well, kind of in Zombie Prime. I think that's what I was. I'm not sure.
You were, and that was a very diverse resume that you're building there. That's very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jarrett, when you're not doing Tilt, outside of theater and outside of performing, what kinds of things are you doing with your time?
Well, I have a dog. I write a lot of poetry. I've written a lot of poetry in the past. I still write some occasionally. And then I have 4 grandkids who most of the time I only see pictures of them, but every now and then we'll actually go, and I think they just finished moving to another part of Missouri City, but it may not be Siena. It may be a different sub area in that area now.
Now, when you say grandkids, you're talking about the grandkids of your parents, right? So your nieces and nephews, is that right?
My nieces and nephews that the middle child had after she got married, because our youngest got married more recently, but she hasn't had any kids yet.
Awesome. And are you the oldest of your siblings?
Yes.
You are. So you're the firstborn, huh?
Yes, I am.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds like you lead quite a busy life, Jarrett. Do you have any other jobs that you do outside of Tilt?
I work for Facebook/Meta, and I have a meeting with them on Monday about going back to maybe working again.
Because you haven't been working in person for a long time, right?
I haven't been working in person for a long time, but I'm still technically an employee from them, just one that's not currently working there currently. And that we have a meeting Monday, and if they can send me to either the one on Westfield 60 or the Lamar one, then I can go back. But if they want me to go to one of the two ones in the domain, then we may have to look for employment somewhere else. Mom's driving me out to Domain 7 on Monday for a meeting, though I don't know if there's a bus I can get back down there, so we'll see how that goes.
Sure. And that's what I was going to ask you, Jarrett. How do you get around? Because one of the things that I was so impressed by when I first met you was your bus schedule. Oh my gosh, it's like crazy insane. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, I had a driver that would drive me in the morning because I wanted me there by I think they wanted me there by 7, and they wanted me out the door catching the bus by 11, around 11ish.
Okay, so you have had a driver who is part of your transportation. What's it like to take the bus?
It's a lot easier than it used to be because now I only have to take one.
Yeah, because when I met you, I think you were taking 3 or 4 buses in a day, weren't you?
Back when you first joined Tilt, and I had the working for the Johnson Center and the aftercare program, I would sometimes have to take 3 buses, maybe 2, I think, maybe to get to the work, and then another one to get to the school.
Wow, it's just really impressive that you're able to keep that organized. I can't keep my transportation organized, Jarrett.
And I did that for, I think at the school and the aftercare program, I think I had for 5 years, and then the pharmacy was for 7.
Now, talking about Austin and the wider city of Austin that you travel around, why do you think the work of Tilt is important here?
Because it gives us something to do, to go out and express ourselves, and it's good for our mental health and to challenge us up and for our advancement.
And what do you think that has looked like over the pandemic, since we have kind of ramped up the amount that we're doing at Tilt?
It's made it even more critical than it had been prior.
Yeah, I have just been so grateful to get to see everyone in Tilt most days of the week. And I am thrilled that you're part of that as well. I never got to see you as much when we were doing in-person productions because, each individual person wouldn't necessarily be in every production. But now that we have Tilt U, we can see each other almost daily on the Zoom. I think that's really cool. And what are your hopes for Tilt, for the future of Tilt, Jarrett? You've been with us for so long. What are some of your hopes and dreams for us going forward?
That will continue to spread out and grow our cast even larger and find even more diverse people who can hopefully become regulars as much as possible so we continue to grow and spread.
I couldn't agree with you more. And Jarrett, is there anything else you'd like to add to our conversation today? Anything you want our listeners to know about Tilt or not about Tilt?
Well, I hope if those who have kids that are interested in Tilt in general, that maybe you should try in and see if you're interested and see if you can work out, because we socialize, we specialize in people with disabilities, but if you don't have a disability and you're good enough, you could maybe possibly get in the future. So if we have enough roles, maybe.
I love that, Jarrett. We do have second stage productions where we involve people outside of Tilt as well. So I think that you're right on when you say that. Jarrett, it is an honor to call you both a company member and a friend. And I think that the work that you do for Tilt and in every other way in your life is just an incredible contribution to the world. So thank you so much for taking the time today to talk with me. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Jarrett. And we'll see you all on the next episode of Tilt Talks. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Tilt Talks, and special thanks to Riley Wesson for editing today's installment. Catch you next time.